I told you the Gold Cup quarterfinals would be better than the group stages. It was by a long shot. You had atmosphere. You had exciting games. Not the most exciting play, but we certainly got there. So the semifinals are set for Thursday, the 29th. You have Qatar. I'm sorry. I don't know anymore. Qatar versus the United States. I know I called them Qatar last time. I just don't know. I don't want to. I asked 100 people. 50 say Qatar. 50 say Qatar. So Qatar versus the United States, that's going to be at the Q2 Stadium in Austin. Mexico plays Canada at the NRG Stadium in Houston. The final will be Sunday at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. You could have Mexico, USA. You could have Qatar, Canada. It's that finely tuned. But the quarterfinals are done. We'll talk a little bit about the United States team and what they were able to do and preview that Qatar game a little bit. We'll also talk about the other games and see what stood out for me. As much time, as quickly as I can get through. I will say this mission statement overall for the U.S., making the semifinals of the Gold Cup. This tournament has been a success regardless of what happens in the semifinal. They won 4 games. They only allowed 1 goal. I know they weren't playing Murderers Row, but that's still good. And they got 5 or 6 guys to put their hand up for World Cup qualifying games in September to be part of that squad, right? This is a soccer OG. That's right. Covering a lot of ground. Thanks for everyone who watched my What's Wrong with the U.S. Women's National Team video. Got some interesting responses from that. I also want to say, I don't know if you heard this, and this is not what the video is about, but I have COVID. So I was walking around last week, and I'll talk about all about my week with COVID in the Soccer OG podcast. So check it out. Check out the Soccer OG podcast, where all podcasts are available. Heath Pierce, former U.S. men's national team player, will join me to talk about the Gold Cup too. But you're here. Subscribe, share, leave a comment, just like the folks that you. Take a look at the comments. They're pretty eye-opening. I look pretty good, all things considered. I can't smell or taste anything, so I'm not eating any highbrow food. I'm eating hard-boiled eggs, bananas, and yogurt. Bleh. Maybe I'll get a little... I do have an appetite, though. And I'm vaccinated. The vaccines, I know, mitigated the effects. So let's get into what happened. Should we start from the beginning? Let's start from the beginning. Qatar, really impressive, got out in front. I want to tell you about El Salvador, though. They got knocked out in the quarterfinals. Really impressive what they were able to do. They took a big jump, and they're going to be a hard out in the World Cup qualifiers. So they're very fit. And that's something you don't really equate with El Salvador. But this team outran Mexico. They had energy. They had wind in their sails. Mexico was out. Same with Qatar. And El Salvador almost tied them at the end. If not, they did, except there was an offside. So, props to El Salvador. Qatar is really impressive. I'll talk about them a little bit. Well, Akram Afif, who reminds me, he looks like Ronaldinho out there. Ronaldinho, moving and shucking and dodging and passing. He's really good. He had a taste of Europe. It didn't work out. And I mean, he's been the tournament player, if not for Eustachio of Canada. Those two guys have been at the top. Almoez Ali, he's the leading goal scorer in the tournament. And Afif has been the leading assist player. So those two have been great. Mexico showed they really played. No one would have expected Mexico to play the way they did against Honduras because they'd been in such a malaise, but they blew the doors off. Jonah Dos Santos, Hector Herrera, that combination works. Jonah Dos Santos scores. Orbelin Pineda, really, really good. Rogelio Funes Mori scored another goal. Mexico hitting their stride. I don't know if I trust Mexico yet, but that was as good of a win we've seen from them in months. They'll make the semifinals. There'll be quite an atmosphere in Houston. Certainly the Gold Cup committee were like, organizers, thank goodness. They still could get Qatar and Canada. It really could happen in Las Vegas. You know, those Qataris will drink you under the table. I'm just kidding. At the blackjack table. Sorry. I'm just kidding. So Mexico flexed their muscles. Let's talk quickly about the USA. This was a hard watch. Earlier in the day, by the way, Canada won, and Stephen Eustachio and Tejan Buchanan have been, along with Afif, to me, the 3 best players in the tournament. So the 2 Canadians and the Qatari player, the 3 best in the tournament. Eustachio is just everywhere. And Tejon Buchanan has raised his standard in these games so high, getting interest from clubs in France and Germany. It's going to happen. He is a fun player to watch. And now Canada, who didn't have Alphonso Davies or Jonathan David in this tournament, now have Eustachio. They have Buchanan that they can rely on. Mark Anthony Kaye. They're developing some good young players. Canada, it may be too late for the Canadian stock. They are the third best team in this region. When everyone's fully loaded, it's now Mexico, United States, Canada, and then Jamaica, Costa Rica, Honduras. Costa Rica looks like they're taking a dip. I love Costa Rica. They've meant so much for this region, but I think they have to vet things out because there's other teams that have more exciting prospects. I've left very little time for the United States here. But the 11 came out. I was a little surprised to see Gianluca Busio and Daryl Dike because they were very poor against Canada. I thought in the first 45 minutes they were both very poor again. They left Busio in there. What a gamble by Greg Berhalter, but it paid off. Busio played really well in the second half. I think part of it, Jamaica got tired. Daryl Dike, we got to put him on the shelf a little bit. And, I was screaming from the mountaintops about how excited and say, start him at number 9. He's not ready at all. He doesn't get service, but he doesn't work for the ball either. He's a spectator. I think he has to learn about things you could do, like Jassy Zardes when he came in and showed how to be an active participant at the top of the attack. So I don't know if I rely on either of those two. Maybe Busio gets another start in the semifinal. There's no way DK gets a start. Matthew Hoppe started from the beginning. He's an erratic one. I love him, and he scored the game-winning goal. You know what? The Matthew Hoppe goal was incredible because he was supposed to be substituted for 3 or 4 minutes. Not 5 minutes. 3 or 4 minutes. They were up on the sideline. They didn't have a break in the action, so he kept playing. Then the goal happened, and then he walks out. He's got this cheeky grin. Could have been heading towards penalties, folks. Timing is everything. Serendipity. So Matthew Hoppe, he kind of got caught maybe taking a little dive. They weren't really dives, a simulation. Didn't get the calls, but I just love the fact that he kind of gets after it a little bit. An exciting development. The adjustments by Berhalter in the half were really good. So even without any personnel changes, you could see that they made changes. He's a smart guy. He knows what he's doing. Is he the guy who's going to head the U.S. to 2026? Probably not, but he's the right guy for right now. And again, this is a great result for the USA because they don't have their best team. They don't really have all of their second team in there, and they were able to get here. I know it's Jamaica, but we said that about Jamaica and Canada. It's strong teams. They've got it. They could have been out already, right? And now they have a semifinal, which the United States are going to play Qatar. And if you looked at that El Salvador game, that you've got to mark them. You can't give them anything early. They will tire out. You've got to take them into the deep end of the pool, and you can beat them. My money is still on a USA-Mexico final because those are the two deepest teams. And of course, that would be sensational, and I would love to talk about it. But I'll talk about Qatar and Canada. I may not be able to go to Las Vegas. I haven't ruled it out, but I may not be because of COVID. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. 4 substitutes came in and out. Hoppe out at the 83rd. They played with the 4-3-3. Areola coming back in. No defensive depth because of the injury to Walker Zimmerman. So you had, who was the player of the game for me, was Miles Robinson with James Sands. James Sands been the player of the tournament for the U.S., and then Henry Kessler was the only center back available on the bench, not even Donovan Pines. So remember, Miles Robinson took a hit to the head late, which didn't look good. I think he finished the game. I'm recording this immediately after the game, so I'm not checking on any post-game stuff, so no cheating here. It's not cheating. So they're very thin defensively. Just goes to show the challenges this team has had. They've had a lot of injuries, and now they have to check on Turner. So I think they can bring in some more players. I think they bring in another player. So that might be on the cards for the United States. But Miles Robinson made the play of this game somewhere. It was in like middle of the second half. They were breaking away. Who was it? Was it Bobby Reed? Yeah, it was like the 60-some minute. and he does this one-on-one, dispossesses him. If he doesn't do that, Jamaica probably score, and the United States are down and in big trouble. He had the play of the game. James Sands is an absolute Ferrari back there with everything he does not put one foot out of place. Not only will he be on that 23-man roster for World Cup qualifying, but he could probably make a case to be in the starting 11 alongside John Brooks. Am I crazy? Somewhere off the bench, he's going to come in because he can play a couple positions. I mean, he's going to be a guy who gets minutes in World Cup qualifying. And perhaps Miles Robinson too. Matt Turner possibly. He's so solid. Legette's going to get minutes there. We knew that already. We don't know about all of it. Maybe it's not 5 or 6. Maybe it's 4. 4 guys. 5 that make the roster. 4 guys who get to play a couple minutes with all of that. So the U.S. found a way in. Wasn't pretty. Played better in the second half. And a few guys put their hands up. That's a good day. And now we get ready for the semifinal. I gave you a little bit of a preview with Qatar. I think they can get it done, but this Qatari team is so exciting. And Mexico's going to have their hands full with Canada. Canada's been beating people up, although they have a couple suspensions. And their big ones, Victoria, their defender, Cavallini out, and then Kyle Laren's not available as well, so they're very thinned out, but I wouldn't underestimate this team. They get after it. They may be a little more careful in their tactics. But well done to the United States. Doesn't have to be pretty. It's like an old pair of sneakers. They get the job done. Subscribe to the Soccer OG. Check out the Soccer OG podcast while you're at it. New episode dropping Sunday night. We'll see you on Thursday.